Bonjour, you beautiful dog trainer. Okay, so this, just no exaggeration there, is my old camera bag, and this is my new camera bag. Just a sexy little fanny pack is all. We're gonna break this video down into 3 parts, so the actual camera that you're choosing to shoot with, the thing that you're putting it on, so a tripod, a gimbal, different options there, and then of course your audio is a big part of what you're adding to your go bag as well. I believe that the bigger your camera setup, the less likely you're going to use it. It's also more intimidating for the dogs and your clients when you're running through with a giant camera and a big tripod and a huge boom mic and all that stuff. If you're not running a TV show, you want to keep things as compact as possible because that way you're most likely to use it. Okay, so the camera that you have is better than the camera that you don't have. Use what you have. I spent way too much time and way too much money trying out all these different things to just end up using my cell phone. Your cell phone, if it's made in the last 5 years, is an amazing camera. Like, technology is jumping so fast, but the difference between like the iPhone 10 and 11, not that big a difference. The Android this and the iPhone whatever, and now iPhone has this new cinematic look. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter that much unless you're really trying to create a cinematic experience. But then are you spending too much time in the editing process? I'll be honest, the more raw the video was, as long as the audio was good, we'll get to that at the 3rd part, did better than like my highly edited ones with drone shots and this and that. Honestly, people just want this experience. They want to see your face, which so many people are gonna do. I'm gonna do other videos about how to get more comfortable doing this because it takes time and it takes practice, which means that you want to have the thing that you're most likely to use. Make that your go bag. It's a really good idea for every dog trainer to also have a GoPro. I wouldn't go less than the Hero 5 Black. Go with black, don't go with the white or silver. You definitely want the black edition.
Cream? No, thank you. I take it black. Like my man.
So how I use this GoPro is like so many different ways, but because this one has an HDMI port, it's the Hero 5 Black, I actually use it in my office when I'm teaching lessons because I teach so much online now, whether it's other dog trainers, coaching dog trainers, or I'm working with people around the world during lessons and I want to show them something in this room. It's not a very big room, so I pop this thing on a little mounting bracket in the corner. I've got a cable that runs to my computer, and then I get a full wide angle of the room, which is fantastic. But then I've also used the chest mount on myself, the dog mount where it's running, it's attached to a dog. You can strap it to a bike, a 4-wheeler, anything, throw it, into a lake and get the dog to retrieve it. Like, so versatile, so great. I would say my next one, I would have the 8 has amazing image stabilization, and it's gonna be obviously a lot cheaper than like the 10. You don't need the newest and best of everything. I would go with a used one of these from a camera site. That's what I do anytime I kill one, which has only been a couple of them. And I use them a lot and I'm pretty hard on my surf with it. I do all kinds of stuff. Amazing little camera to have. If you're doing consultations in people's homes, you can bring this and say, just for quality purposes, I record everything, turn it, click, turn on. It has a little microphone built in, which isn't very good. We'll get to audio in a minute, but the 8 has a little external microphone port, so you can mount a tiny little shotgun mic like this one, or maybe even something smaller to it. I don't have the 8, so I don't know how good the audio is, but it's really important to have good audio. Okay, and then this camera is the Canon M50. I've spent way too much time doing research on mirrorless cameras. It's pretty small, fits in my hand. I've got a bunch of different lenses for it, so it's more the cinematic thing if you want to give a go at that, or you're doing vlogging or something like that. But again, honestly, my go-to camera is my cell phone. But the Canon M50 has a lot of great bonuses. The color, the autofocus is really, really good. The capturing of people's faces. And yeah, I would highly recommend it. Okay, so I'd say you're gonna want two kinds of tripods. This is a little gimbal, which I'll talk about more in depth here in a minute. And then this is just your regular 3-leg, don't get a monopod, 3-leg tripod. You want a decent one, or you're gonna wanna weigh down a cheaper one. They're just so light, and a dog's gonna run into it. This thing, I can get these legs way wider, so it's super stable, and then I can even put my gimbal on top of this, or I have this little cell phone mount here as well, which is great, so then I can do horizontal or vertical video and just have this thing stationary. Really, really great option. You know, you also might want to get one of these tripods, which you can bend the arms and then, like, you know, mount it to a tree branch, which is, my arm does not represent very well right now. So I can have this thing mounted, stationed somewhere else. The disadvantage is that obviously it's tiny, so if you only had this, it's going to be really low to the ground. Okay, so this little guy is the Osmo Mobile 3. We're up to the Osmo Mobile 5 now. The 5 has a telescopic arm, so it's like a selfie stick where you can get further away, but I can still get like pretty far away with this thing, but I've got giant eagle arms, so that's the advantage of the 5, but I'll probably upgrade at some point. It's cheap, like you can get a used one for $100, you can get a new one for like $140. So you can get the 5 for like $200 Canadian. So it's fantastic. What it does is that your image is not all wonky when you when you're moving and walking with it, which you're going to be doing. You can use it, again, like a selfie type thing. And this little thing here is a tripod. So this is the disadvantage of this thing. It's not great because, like, the amount of times that this has fallen over are a lot. It's super, super low to the ground. But you can just unscrew this and then attach it to a tripod. And then, you know, the other thing is you can hand it off to a client and the video isn't shaky, so that way you can go and teach. You know, if there's a third person there, show them what it is that you're, you know, how you're working with the dog. This is what my go-to setup looks like, plus audio that we're going to talk about next. So having good audio is more important than having good video. There's no question about it. If you've got blowing wind going and all that stuff, like, cut it off. Now, most people are watching video without audio today, but when they are watching with audio, you want it to be good. They're watching just by reading subtitles and their phone's on mute because they're supposed to be working. But having those moments captured with, this is the Rode Wireless Go 2, the little receiver, you just plug it into your DSLR, to your camera, or I also have just with a couple of attachment cables, I can plug this thing in. That's why I have this little hot shoe mic here. You'll see an image of what it looks like all together, plus a light, which I almost never use, attached to the thing. It does make it a little more intimidating with that light on there. But if I'm shooting at night, like this time of year, it's, you know, it's almost dark and it's only 4 o'clock. So having that on the go is great. Now, the cool thing about the Wireless Go 2 is that there's 2 receivers. So basically, I just hand this to a client, ask them to clip it on. I don't even half the time tell them what it is, and they just clip it on. They figure it out. I'm holding the camera or the little setups just, you know, sitting on the hood of my car or whatever. And so I capture those moments when the client's like, yeah, this was amazing. I can't believe my dog would ever do this. Unbelievable. You want to have that clean, clear audio. These are going to cut down on that wind versus just using your cell phone audio. You're not going to capture that when you're, you know, X distance away. Same thing with this little shotgun mic. Great directional microphone. It's capturing this way and a bit this way. But as soon as you step off over here, or you get at any distance, you're not going to be able to pick that up. Now, I will say that after doing reviews, you know, 2 or 3 weeks after buying this, DJI, the same company that I use for drones, the most popular company for that, came out with a very similar system, except theirs has a charging case. Some people say that the audio on this is better. but like marginally, you know, honestly, we're dog trainers making dog training videos. This isn't like Hollywood or something like that. As long as it's good, there's always going to be better. And that's the thing about getting caught up in, oh, there's something new. You're going to burn through a lot of money trying to keep up with the latest and greatest tech, when really it's just about spend that time editing, or spend that time with your family or your dogs, for God's sakes, on, you know, creating new material and whatnot, than having the very best audio. But I like the DJI idea of having a charging case for my lessons. Like, I'm probably not going to make it through, you know, tomorrow, which I have got like 7 hours of lessons. And if I'm using this for the whole time, it says it should last, but we'll see. The other cool thing about this is, like, it's direct into the camera right now, so that way I don't have to sync it in post. That's an option too. Like, for years, for my entire 7 Elements course, I used the little lapel mic, a giant Zoom H4n Pro, and you know, it worked great. I had to sync it in post, but this, if it's going to my cell phone, most of the editing is done at that point. I just put it through a little editing app, cut and paste, or throw it onto the computer, which is why I love my iPhone and my Mac, because I can just send things to each other seamlessly. It works super, super well. So a little running gun setup. You want to be taking as much footage as possible. It's so important to have those moments caught. You can learn so much of how you're evolving as a trainer, how your clients are evolving. Those before and after videos do so well for social proof, to show people that, like, hey, you are a good trainer, your clients are happy, the dogs are happy, you're having a good time. But you also catch those moments where you fuck up, you know, where you said the wrong thing, or you did the wrong thing, or it has nothing to do with you, and it's like 2 dogs started fighting, and you get to break down the moment of what happened, what caused that. Was it when Deb walked into the room, or is it because, you know, Johnny's over there throwing treats at the dogs? It's probably Johnny. And so, yeah, you get to have those moments on camera. So if you're doing pack dynamic stuff, it's really nice to have something like this either strapped to you or sitting in the corner on a wide angle lens, and having a secondary camera. But again, just any camera that you have, start taking footage. I'm going to shoot a video here about, like, things you can do to practice for getting more comfortable on video, because it's so important to practice that. You want to watch that? Check out that video right here. Know that you're loved, everybody. Bye, meow.